So yesterday, the 60-minute episode aired with Brad Garlinghouse, and there was a lot of negativity surrounding this episode, calling it a f***ing shit show, a proper hit piece. Got some dickhead from the SEC to come on and say that all crypto is a scourge on society and it's not something we want. According to him, all crypto assets are securities, and so many people are going to watch this and not invest, thus missing out on one of the greatest opportunities of their lifetime. It's sad for those people who are going to watch this and be shaken out, but I am so bullish after watching this. There's going to be such lengths to suppress the industry. I wonder why that is. This is not for retail. This is for institutions. It's a total hit piece. It answered nothing. It was an absolute shit show. And then Brad Garlinghouse shared his thoughts on this that we're going to cover in this video. On top of that, what Linda P. Jones had to say, what Brad Garlinghouse was thinking in this exact moment during the interview, Brad destroying this moderator, talking about XRP Twitter influencers, calling them XRP fanboys, and what big exchanges like Crypto.com knows that the average retail investor does not know, along with what a former regulated fund manager is saying about XRP, XLM, XDC. We're getting into the Bitcoin to the US dollar price chart and what that means for the total altcoin market, where we are in this market cycle, along with the XRP to the US dollar price chart and my expectations in the short term, the midterm, and the long term that you need to be ready for if you want to make money in the crypto market the rest of this bull run cycle. So if you're feeling bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So this is actually insane. Americans currently have about $1.1 trillion worth of debt on Visa and Mastercards. And Visa and Mastercard have been charging people 29% interest rates after they doubled the interest rates. U.S. Senator Josh Haley said your profit margin is higher than 50%. Visa and Mastercard are effectively monopolies that control 80% of the market. Yet little has been done over the past decade to change this until recently. Visa and Mastercard lost a $5.5 billion settlement, and we've been sharing this with business owners that process Visa and Mastercard transactions between 2004 to 2019. And so far, we've helped over 500 businesses that have processed over $328 million get qualified to receive back almost $10 million the past 50 days. So if you haven't heard this yet, listen to this.
Hey bull runners, this is super time sensitive, especially if you're looking to stack more crypto before the bull run is over. Did you know that Visa and Mastercard lost a $5.5 billion class action lawsuit for imposing unfair fees on merchants and business owners? So if you own a business, or if you know any business owners that process payments with Visa or Mastercard between 2004 and 2019, that's 15 years, you could actually be owed a refund of 1 to 1.5% of your total revenue from that period. That's a lot of money. For example, this business that generated $1.6 million in credit card revenue during those years is getting back $28,000. This business that generated over $7 million is getting back $93,000. And this business that generated over $20 million during those years is getting back over $320,000. That's money they didn't even know was on the table. And all they did was fill out a form through the link below this video. It literally takes less than a minute to see if you qualify, but you don't want to wait too long because the deadline to file is February 4th, 2025. So the sooner that you fill out the form below, the sooner that you can reclaim what's rightfully yours. Plus, if you don't have a business, you can actually earn 3% by referring businesses that do qualify by creating your affiliate account through the link below. So this is a no-brainer way to get money back in your pocket to use for your business, or if you want to use it for crypto or other assets to invest in, you can do that. So click the link below. Let's get you paid.
Now, the reason why I share this with you to start out this video is because there's 56 days left, and then the claims will be paid out to business owners and those that are sharing this. Because if you guys need more capital on your side to invest, whether it be in crypto, real estate, your own business, this is a no money out of pocket way to do that. So this is the best opportunity that I've personally seen in over 10 years to share with business owners. So if you know any business owners, definitely get started below. But in this video, we have so much more to cover about what's taking place in the crypto market, because with the recent pullback, Bitcoin pulling back below 100K, sitting at $97,000. XRP experienced a 10% pullback back to $2.40. We're going to get into the charts in a little bit in this video, but let's discuss quickly the thoughts on the 60-minute episode, because there's no doubt that these technologies will continue to become more and more mainstream. Brad Garlinghouse says with influence and reach that will only continue to grow. So Brad spoke with Margarin for about 90 minutes straight when discussing the SEC's misguided laws against Ripple. 60 minutes shockingly left out that a federal judge ruled that XRP is not a security. Gensler's shill, John Reed Stark, knows better despite his comments that 60 Minutes chose to air. Lastly, to say crypto has no utility is exactly what the naysayers said about the internet in the earliest days, that it's nothing more than illicit activity, how vastly they were proven wrong. Today, even JP Morgan is coming around on blockchain. Conveniently, 60 Minutes also failed to mention that Ripple is doing billions of dollars of KYC transactions for their institutional customers, leveraging XRP to move money cross borders more effectively than traditional payment rails. And so our goal on this channel here is to cover the truth, cover the news, and cover the facts so you can be able to make your own educated, informed decisions for the future of your portfolio. And Linda P. Jones just said, RIP to legacy media. 60 Minutes just showed their true selves. Not journalists, not fair, kind of like the BBC and what happened with Andrew Tate. Their just goal is to put out hit pieces and fulfill an agenda of their investors or whoever's paying them off to make the narrative seem a certain way. So they're not journalists, they're not fair, they're not balanced, but they are biased spin doctors who were given a narrative by their puppet masters. 60 Minutes was mostly concerned with explaining how Trump could have won the election by trying to make it sound like unscrupulous actors with deep pockets bought it. Brad Garlinghouse did a masterful job, so it wasn't bad from Brad's end, because he explained how both Democrats and Republicans benefited from donations, and it was self-educated, not spoon-fed by legacy media voting public who rejected candidates that did not reflect their best interests. So 60 Minutes still doesn't understand voters are tired of social and political narratives that are trying to meld America into something other than what makes it exceptional and don't reflect the majority of American people's values. So people are sick of biased media, and 60 Minutes could have educated us and presented the true news that a judge ruled XRP was found in it and of itself not to be a security. Instead, 60 Minutes found a forked-tongued SEC spokesman to accuse crypto being used for criminal activity when the true currency of the vast majority of crimes is cash, because you can't really trace cash. You can trace everything on the blockchain. You can track it all. They did not educate the public that XRP is an important new technology that can save users time and money and eventually replace a banking system that has printed 40% of all US dollars since 2020, enabling inflation and the erosion of our purchasing power even more. Banks sponsor legacy TV by paying for ads, and they were the silent cowards behind 60 Minutes hit job. We no longer accept biased media and will continue to create our own shows, podcasts, books, and information to educate people the way legacy media should and used to be trusted, but hasn't for such a long time. So I thought this was a great post by her. Couldn't agree anymore with this. And this is all part of the plan, right? Legacy media doesn't want retail involved, so they put out these hit pieces, and behind the scenes, whoever the puppet masters are that are putting the narratives are probably buying crypto, guys. So when Brad Garlinghouse was in this interview, he made this face right here. Now, what was he thinking? He was thinking it's time to lock in. So it's time to lock in. It's time to lock in. Everyone, it is time to lock the in. If you're not locked in the crypto market over the next few years, you're going to look back and you're going to think to yourself, damn, I wish I would have subscribed to the BULLRUNNERS channel a lot sooner, invested in crypto in the early days. It's just like the people right now that are thinking back to, I could have invested in Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, and Google stock back in the early 2000s, but I didn't. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but you didn't. And that's why 99% of the population have money problems, is because they don't invest. They think it's too risky. You know what the real risk is? It's in keeping money in a savings account while the Federal Reserve and the Treasury continues to print unlimited amounts of money, debasementing the currency, driving up inflation, and taking your taxpayer dollars and sending them overseas to Ukraine and using them for God knows what other than to improve the country. And so for you, if you are not investing because of what mainstream media has told you, you are nothing more than a puppet and a sheep that is easily manipulated by mainstream media for a narrative that is not in your best interest. Listen to this.
What is it, by the way, what is it with these XRP fanboys on Twitter? You've got XRP's amazing all the time.
She's fantastic.
What's going on? Are you paying them to shill?
No,
XRP?
that's a little rude. That's a little rude to accuse him of paying.
Well, it's just a question.
It's a fair question. We do not pay.
I mean, it might be a marketing expense.
We have a lot of advocates.
You don't pay them, do you?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he does see.
Why do you think are they just trying to boost cryptocurrency?
I think
I-
most of what they're doing is correcting the record. They're going out and saying, look, somebody says something, frankly, similar to what you said, which is the XRP ledger is centralized.
Yeah.
It's factually not true.
So our goal here is to cover the facts. And while people have called us XRP fanboys, well, those people are up 5x on their income. So if they had $1 million in XRP, their portfolio would be at $5 million since we started talking about it, even more than that since the bear market bottom. And so when we discuss the facts here, my opinion is irrelevant. Your opinion's irrelevant. Nobody cares about what you think unless you're worth over $1 billion. Like if you're just worth $1 million or 10 million or $100 million, nobody cares. You're still a small fry. I'm still a small fry in the investing world that you just got to get your money up. So a lot of people have big egos, small bank accounts. The goal here is to focus on the facts. And no, we do not get paid from Ripple or XRP. And a lot of people, they form an opinion. They like to share in comments. They're keyboard warriors. Whether I make these videos or not, it's not going to affect the outcome of XRP. Whether you buy XRP or not is not going to affect the outcome of my life or the future of Ripple as a company or XRP at all. The market cap of this project is $137 billion. So this video is not going to make a dent in this project at all. My goal is to cover the truth and what you actually need to hear. Look at what Elon Musk posted saying, you are the media now, they are the past. Look how ruffled it's getting mainstream media reporters.
Everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day or X today saying like, we are the media, you are the media. My message to Elon Musk is bullshit. You're not the media. You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter. You don't do that by having an opinion. You do it by doing the hard work.
Yeah, this guy's an absolute goon. A lot of these Twitter reporters do even harder work than mainstream media that's just reading off of a teleprompter for what their puppet masters want them to say. If you guys haven't seen the clip that shows all of mainstream media, news reporters essentially saying the exact same thing about biased media, listen to this.
We are concerned about public irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media.
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these things without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 So the best part about what Elon Musk has done with Twitter is actually turned it into a real media platform. And I was never on Twitter. I was never on X before because of who owned it before. It just wasn't a platform that I really enjoyed or liked. I was more on YouTube making content for you guys, but now Twitter is literally on it every single day because of the amazing work that all the creators on Twitter that have those blue check marks that maybe paid the $20 a month or whatever it is to get the blue check mark, that are putting out the truth, that are putting out the best news possible and the best information to be able to wake up the masses to get them to understand what's happening specifically in the crypto market. Because that 60-minute episode with Brad Garlinghouse just shows the mainstream media's goal, and that is to continuously deceive, continuously lie, and continuously manipulate the public to believe a narrative that they want them to believe. They want you to be a sheep. So you get to choose here. Do you want to be a sheep and just bow to their orders and what they tell you to believe?
Yeah, come on, slow clap, everybody. Whoa.
Well done.
First of all, I've got to say, extraordinary content. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
It continues to need to be said.
The hardest work in the world and the most amount of energy that it takes is to maintain a lie. The truth always prevails. So yes, news reporters, traditional legacy media, they work very, very hard. They work harder than most people because it takes the most amount of work and the most amount of energy to maintain a lie. Now, not all of them are bad. Not all of them are biased. But the ones who are reporting on the truth are now fired. Look at what happened to Tucker Carlson over at Fox. Those that cannot be controlled, they try and put down. And worse, they try and assassinate. Like Donald Trump. You know, he couldn't be controlled. It's kind of a loose cannon. So the only thing that they can do is try and take him out. Because for decades, they have controlled the masses. They've controlled them through the 5 M's. When you understand this, it gives you power over your own reality. That is the money, that is the media, that is the military, that is the medicine, and the minds of the masses. If you can control those 5, you basically control the world. And that's exactly what they've done. And what matters even more is your ability to lock the in. Because big crypto exchanges know something the average person does not. For example, Crypto.com posted this saying XRP ETFs are closer than ever. Could this be the next big leap for institutional adoption in crypto? They are all getting ready for it. For example, my video yesterday, actually this was my video from about 2 days ago, titled The U.S. Department of Justice Doing the Unthinkable for RLUSD. You can see these companies here that have filed for specific ETFs, and you can see XRP ETFs from Bitwise, Canary, 21 shares, Wisdom Tree. Now, because these companies know something the average retail investors don't know, my question to you is this. I really want you to think about this today. Why would they waste their time filing for an XRP ETF if they didn't at least think there was a chance of it getting approved? It is obvious at this point. A former regulated fund manager from the City of London just said that I will concede that investing in XRP, XLM, and XDC is currently the greatest opportunity for gaining generational wealth than any other investment opportunities I've ever encountered in my entire lengthy career. So, need I say more, guys? Let's get this straight. October 1st, Upbit Global, South Korea's biggest exchange, announced that they were suspending XRP withdrawals. Then XRP pumped on Upbit Global and continued to be the largest volume exchange for XRP, even bigger than Binance. And then South Korea declared martial law. So I don't think this was a coincidence. These are designed shakeout opportunities so they can be able to buy up the dip. And so this is what we need to focus on right here. What's going to happen on the price chart, how far we are into the bull run, and the fact that the bull run is far from over. This is a reminder that historically Bitcoin moves in a range, and the bull run is about 1,001 days from the bottom to peak. If the same time frame kicks in, then we can expect the next all-time high to be 287 days. So this would be week 4 of September of 2025. After that, we can expect 406 days of continuous selling to the bear market bottom leading into 2026. So when we bring up the Bitcoin to the US dollar price chart, we are still in this bullish channel. I talked about this a few days ago where I expected Bitcoin to, pop back up around 100, chop sideways for a bit, and then see a sell-off back down into the zone of support to respect this ascending support that was rejected right back here at the middle of November, right here at the end of November on the 26th of November, also right here on the 3rd of December. We saw it wick below it for this liquidation event right here on the 5th of December. And I would expect the price to form lower highs, lower lows, chop back in within this range, and then to see a bounce from this ascending support that we have been rejected from multiple times. It's also acted as resistance back here from the 27th of November all the way until the 4th of December. So this is a very strong zone of demand for Bitcoin that I would expect to see a bounce within. And if we pull up right here, the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin, this was just a massive cup and handle formation at the March resistance, which was also the complacency stage high at this key resistance. And according to Crypto Bullets, he gave 3 targets. Now, I'm not giving these targets. I'm not giving financial advice. These videos are purely for education and informational purposes only. So don't buy, don't sell any cryptocurrencies. Go consult your financial advisor. They'll probably tell you to stay away from crypto and invest in something that will make you significantly less money because, crypto is risky. So as a full-grown adult, you understand that. But look what happened here. The target 1, $1.8 trillion. Target 2, $2.5 trillion. Target 3, $3.7 trillion. Is that possible? Well, let's look at where we're at right now. We're at $1.5 trillion. So we're close to target 1. We are right at the all-time high, and bang, this thing broke out as expected. And we were talking about this. I was making posts inside of Altcoin Pro University right around here, talking about the disbelief stage and how people thought it was a suckers rally and was going to fail just like the others. But in reality, it was just simply a back test of the high of August right here, and also the support right here in January of 2024, December to January, that we consolidated at before we went from purple to orange. And look at the last cycle of what happened when we went from orange to yellow and what we're doing right now. very, very similar to what we saw take place back here. When we went from orange to yellow, we saw this breakout, consolidation, breakout, higher lows, higher highs near the all-time high. And then when we broke the all-time high, we surged up really quick. And even though we did see some pullbacks in the short term, if I were to zoom in here, look at this choppiness right here. This is like 30% to the downside on the daily chart right here. Even this pullback upwards of $700 billion was 35% on the way up. So I just expect there to be massive volatility, and where we are in this market cycle compared to the past cycle is one of two spots. In my opinion, we're either right here, and so of course it's not going to look the exact same, or we're right here. And so we are a little bit overextended on the daily candles. I would expect there to be a pullback here relatively soon of 20 to 40%. If we push a little higher in the short term and we get it overextended, I think we can maybe run up to 2 trillion and then see a healthy 30 to 40% pullback. So when in doubt, zoom out. And if we pull up the key indicators here, like the moving average convergence divergence, relative strength index, stochastic RSI, the first one that we want to look at right now is the MACD. So if I just adjust the thickness setting on the MACD line, we do the K line, this MACD line and the signal line, just so you guys can see what I'm looking at here and how far we are overextended above the 0 line. Look at these lines right here. I got to move my camera, and for some reason my computer is acting weird, so I'm like recording this on my actual phone camera so I can flip this around and point at what I'm looking at here. So look at this. You can see on the screen too as well, the MACD line is at 119B. The signal line is at 115B. And so we are massively overbought right now on the daily compared to even the high of March right here. And then we saw a bearish cross take place in the micro. So right now it looks like the MACD line turned around. If the MACD line stays above the signal line, we can push higher. If not, we see a bearish cross like what took place back here, then that's where we could see a 20, 30, 40% pullback. And so to enter into the markets, right, I don't like buying when we are overbought. I accumulate dips like right here, right here, right here, right here. So in terms of leverage positions, like I closed out all my leverage positions right now because, I think there could be a pullback, and a healthy pullback, honestly, could be back to $1.3 trillion. Let me zoom in here. Let's fact check this on the spot. We saw this candle wick right here really fast get bought back up though, but we did back test the previous resistance at $237 billion right here, briefly on one candle wick. And we consolidated within this range right here from the 24th of November until the breakout for 40 days on the 3rd of January. So when we formed this new range, we could just continuously formed higher highs right here and higher lows right here, even with the pullback. Super healthy as we continuously marched higher. So if we did something like that and we zoom in right here, and let's say we saw some sort of flash crash in the market to back test any of these previous ranges, the worst that this would get is like $1.26 trillion. And I expect that to get bought up and we do something like this before continuing higher to the upside. So if we see a deeper liquidity flush, it would look something like that. If not, then we just continuously chop within this range like this, continue higher, and then see a deep pullback like this, continuously chop and continue higher until we then eventually transition from yellow to green. And then we see a massive dip. Like, look at this, the size of this dip right here. This was about 59, 60%. And so that happened in like May. The saying sell in May, go away. During the summer, we saw a summer lull in the crypto market of 60% that lasted 68 days. And then from green, light green, we peaked out, and then light blue, we go into the bear market. I think it's just going to be the exact same thing. And so depending on how deep the pullback is and how much chop we experience in the short term before doing something like this, and then seeing a much deeper pullback, and then we go from yellow, if I were to just change the colors here, for those of you guys that like my kindergartner color book drawings here, it would look something like this. So we are still in the yellow phase right now in terms of the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator. When we see that pullback take place going from yellow to light green, then we see some type of peak in the market, whether it's a higher high or relatively close high, right? This was a higher high right here, or it's a lower high. This green high could be a lower high in the market, and then we continue the bear market. So we don't know how high the market's going to go, but when the markets peak out sometime in 2025, you just have to be ready for that, and you have to be ready to hedge your portfolio. So we'll be sharing with you guys inside of Altcoin Pro University when we are exiting the markets. We have about 846 students, so you can get started with that through the link in the description below. Now, if we look at the relative strength index, we are at 69. We recently did form a peak up here at 84, 85 on the daily RSI, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that the RSI does need to reset. And so if we come a little bit further to the downside and we see a little bit deeper of a pullback for the market before continuing higher, this is just a great sign that the crypto market is just going to continue throughout this bull run, because this was a textbook cup and handle formation. For example, if I were to draw from the high of 2021 until the high of March of 2024, you can just see this rounded bottom formation right here. And if we were to draw the handle from March until the breakout period right here, you guys can see this handle. It's also a bull flag as well too. We just basically take the parallel channel, connect the highs from March right here, the lower highs, lower lows as well too. And then this is also a bull flag. So how we trade a bull flag, we take a trend line, we measure from the bottom of the flagpole, which would be 17th of October, until the peak of the breakout point, which is the 15th of March. And then we put that at the recent breakout point that just took place. And that puts the target, around like $2.5 trillion. So going back here for Crypto Bullets post target 2, $2.5 trillion. And then target 3 for the end of the bull run is $3.7 trillion. If we were to measure from the cup and handle, the cup's depth right here, we just take the trend line. We measure from the peak of March right here at about 1.28, almost $3 trillion to the bottom of the bear market low. We put that in the neckline right here, and that puts the top at, like 3.9, almost $4 trillion. That, in my opinion, would be the end of the bull run for total 2. And so if I just trace up the chart from the left-hand side of the screen, we grab the bars pattern right here when we transition from orange to yellow right before green, we'll just put that up to where we are right now with that breakout, and almost identical. Obviously, there's going to be some differences here, but it's playing out to the T. We just continuously form higher highs, higher lows. We're just going to chop within this range here, potentially see a deeper pullback in the short term that would get bought up quick to $1.3 trillion. In my opinion, that'd be the worst of it, and that would be a back test, similar to what happened all the way back here on this breakout period, when we saw the markets go from $500 billion upwards of $800 billion relatively quick in January of 2024. And then we just saw this deep pullback right here, about 16%. It wasn't even that deep, but it was to backtest the high of August of 2022 as support before continuing to the upside. So the worst of the pullback, where I would set and where I'm probably planning on setting some limit spot buy orders, would be anywhere between 1.26. I don't think we'd actually hit that, but to about $1.3 trillion. I don't know if we're going to go that low. That would be a pretty deep pullback from where we are right now if I just clear the charts for you. From where we're at right now at about $1.53 trillion to go to 1.27, that's a 17% pullback. So not out of the question. From the recent high, what that pullback would look like would be about a 24% pullback. So completely normal. If we see a flush out in the markets before Christmas, I'm personally going to be looking to buy the dip within this range right here. Now, if we don't, I just got my long-term positions in spot that I'm holding for the rest of this bull run. Then I'm going to be exiting around the peak for yellow before we transition to light green. And I'll be sharing when that is with you guys inside of Altcoin Pro University that you can get started below. We got 846 members. I'll share what you're going to get with that in a little bit. But before I do, let's talk about the XRP to the US dollar price chart. And let's bring it up and let's compare it to the past year and where we were at this stage in the market cycle based on the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator in the yellow phase. It's very, very similar. For example, on the left-hand side of the screen, back on February of 2021, when XRP rallied all the way upwards of 65 cents, we saw it top out here. We're not going to count this wick because we're just looking at this peak on the candle body close right here. We saw an initial sell-off. We saw a complacency stage bounce right here, forming a lower high by the 22nd of February, and then for a final drop down here for the C wave on this Elliott AB C wave corrective pattern right here, where the A wave was right here on the 16th of February, the B wave was all the way up here by the 22nd of February, and then the C wave was actually down at this wick right here, very similar to the right hand side of the screen. You guys can see the peak of the market right here at $2.90 for XRP on that recent run up on the 3rd of December. We see the A wave right here all the way down the 3rd of December, the B wave right back up here for a complacency stage high, lower high, and then we see the C wave wick all the way down to like $2.16 by the 5th of November. Now, what's interesting, look on the left-hand side of the screen. We saw a recovery out of this support chopping around at about 48 cents right here, a back test of the support, and then for us to work our way on out of here, moving into March of 2021. So what I would expect for XRP is the last line of defense and support is around $2.20 to like $2.30. Just like with Bitcoin pulling back to that ascending support that I just showed you on the chart, I would expect XRP to do something like this, potentially pull back within here, very similar to where we were right here on the chart at this phase, or at this phase where it didn't quite come back down to wick off of this zone of support. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, we'll see. But then for us to work our way through this range right here, chop, and then going into, Christmas, potentially January, for us to continue to the upside and eventually break the high. Now, if we don't hold the support at this C wave right here, similar to the C wave, all the way down here, back in like 23rd of February as support, then it'll completely invalidate this whole entire triangle pattern. Because what this was on the left-hand side of the screen, if I just go ahead and clear the drawings right here, and I also clear the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator, and then I'll match it up on the right-hand side so you guys can see what I'm looking at to get the confluence here, is this was a symmetrical triangle where we can see lower highs right here, and we also see higher lows right here. And in a symmetrical triangle, you see the price break out to a high, come down to a low, bounce off the low, ascending support, form lower highs, but it coils up until eventually it breaks either the resistance, which was right here, boom, by the 3rd of April, back tests it as support, and then sees a bounce off of it. And if we were to measure the peak of that to the base for that symmetrical triangle and put it on the breakout point, it gives us the next target, and it hit it exactly to the T at this candle body close right here from the 6th of April 2021 until the 7th of April. And so what that would look like on the right hand side of the screen for XRP for the next breakout target, and then you can see we even continued past that for the high right there of the 14th of April. If we were to draw this descending resistance right here from the high, connect it with the recent high right here at that lower high on the 8th of December, and then also connect the supports right about here, what we do is we take the top of the symmetrical triangle, measure down to the base. It doesn't need to be exactly accurate 100% here, just a rough estimate. Depending on where the breakout is, determines the target. But if we were to just put it like at the peak or the apex of the symmetrical triangle as it coils up in here, that would be at least like $3.30 for XRP. Now, let's say XRP breaks out even sooner. That gives the price target even higher, like $3.48, $3.50. Now, that's if XRP bounces off the ascending support. If it doesn't, it comes back down. That changes the symmetrical triangle a little bit more. So it might look something like this as XRP's price, forms in the short term on the hourly chart right here, lower highs, lower lows, and then drops off back down to back test this zone as support, and then bounces off of it and consolidates at the descending resistance before breaking it, holding it as support, and then bouncing to the upside. So if I were to just move that trend line right here, that's about $3.30. So anywhere between $3 and $4, in my opinion, is the next move for XRP before we see, some type of pullback similar to what we saw back here. And this pullback wasn't even that bad. It was really quick on the daily. And then we formed a blow off top right here for the peak at about $2. So I think it would look something like this. We see a little short-term pullback for XRP, and then we continue up past the all-time high. So I would expect there to be some form of resistance around the $3 to $4 region, because that is the all-time high for XRP. And so that would be a major psychological resistance for a big sell point. Potentially we come back, we back test, $2.90, which was the high of the 2nd of December as support. And then we bounce off of that to continue into price discovery. That's what I would expect for XRP. But again, I could be 100% wrong. That's why we're helping you guys prepare through a solid diversification strategy with our research team inside of Altcoin Pro University. For example,
our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny. And since then, it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here. And since then, it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now. Watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree. If that's a goal of yours, our goal is to help 1,000 members set their portfolio up for life this month. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.